Everything you have been taught about reality is incomplete. The world you see, the life you live, the limits you accept, they are not the whole story. They are fragments of an illusion so intricately woven that you never thought to question it. Yet beneath the noise of everyday existence, beyond the grasp of mainstream history and conventional science, there lies a current of ancient knowledge, a force so powerful it had to be hidden. It was not lost by chance, it was concealed by design. This knowledge, once understood, awakens abilities within you that stretch beyond what the world dares to call possible. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth are not relics of mythology or quaint metaphors. They are the blueprint for mastering existence itself, a map left for those brave enough to reclaim their forgotten sovereignty. What if the struggle, the uncertainty, the sense of limitation you live with were never meant to define you? What if an inner power, a force vast and unbound, has been yours all along, waiting to be remembered? The time has come to lift the veil and reclaim the truth they worked so hard to bury. Everything around you feels seared, immutable. The ground beneath your feet, the objects you touch, even the body you move through the world. It all appears unquestionable, but that too is part of the illusion. The Emerald Tablets reveal a truth that few are willing to accept. You are not your body. You are not your thoughts, your name, or even your mind. You are consciousness itself, eternal, boundless, temporarily residing within form but never imprisoned by it. From the moment you were born, you were conditioned to believe otherwise, trained to think that your flesh is your identity, and that death is your annihilation. But Thoth taught otherwise. He spoke of the body as a sacred vessel, a temporary tool, a container no more the essence of you than a cup is the water it holds. Your true being animates the body, it is not contained by it. Modern science, now brushing the edges of ancient truths, whispers the same. Quantum physics shows us that the observer shapes reality itself, that the act of consciousness alters the behavior of matter. If mere observation bends the fundamental laws of the physical world, then what does that say about the true power of the mind? Thoth knew, long before our laboratories caught up. He taught that reality is not a prison, but a projection, something shaped and reshaped by your awareness in every single moment. Recall the times when your intuition transcended logic, when your very presence seemed to slow time, when your thoughts seemed to pull reality into alignment. These were not accidents. They were glimpses into your true design, signals from the vastness within you. Over generations, society has trained you to forget, to mock this knowledge, to dismiss it as fantasy. But the truth is immutable. You were never meant to live small, to die confused. You were meant to awaken, and that awakening is not a myth, it is the very purpose of your being. The most powerful teachings of Thoth reach far beyond what this platform dares to reveal. In our Free Insights Academy newsletter, we uncover the truths too potent to be spoken here, including the lost techniques for elevating consciousness. For a limited time, you can also receive a free copy of TheKybalion, but only if you step forward now and claim it through the link provided. Because once you begin to understand that you are not merely a body moving through space, another question inevitably arises. What else have you been deceived about? The illusion of physicality is only the first layer of control. Beneath it lies something even more insidious, something that governs not just your actions, but your every thought, your every belief, your very sense of possibility. You have been led to believe that time is a relentless, irreversible march from past to present to future, a force you must race against, a thief forever slipping away. But the truth, once glimpsed, shatters that illusion forever. Time itself is not what you were taught. You were conditioned to experience time as a straight line, to see every lost second as a wound that can never heal, to believe that you are bound by your past, limited by your age or stage, and cornered by an uncertain future. But this is not truth, it is deception. It is one of the greatest illusions ever woven into the human mind. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth reveal what few dare to even imagine. Time does not move in a line. It is not a river you are swept along helplessly. It is a field, a structure, a force that bends, loops, and spirals according to laws far greater than your conditioned perceptions. Once you begin to grasp this, reality itself changes in your hands. Thoth described time as cycles, endless rhythms echoing through existence, the rising and setting of suns, the tides, the seasons. Nothing moves forward eternally. Everything circles back, renews, transforms. And what if your life, your experiences, your soul's very journey follows the same spiral? What if time is not something you pass through, but something you inhabit, something you can step into and out of, like moving between rooms in an infinite temple? Modern physics, tiptoeing now where Thoth walked boldly millennia ago, has begun to whisper similar truths. Quantum experiments hint that past, present, and future coexist. Time is not a flowing river, but a vast ocean where every point remains accessible to those who know how to sail its hidden currents. Decisions made now ripple backward as well as forward. Reality, it seems, listens differently than you were told. Thoth understood this when he wrote, "Time changes not, but all things change in time." If time is cyclical, then déjà vu is not a glitch, it is memory bleeding through the illusion. Past lives are not buried behind you, but unfolding alongside you. Layered across the spiral of existence, accessible to those with the key. The deeper you venture into Thoth's teachings, the more the prison bars of time dissolve. You were never meant to be trapped in regret, in aging, in fear of the unknown. You were meant to see through the distractions, to move freely beyond the ticking of clocks and the tyranny of calendars. This is the secret that the ancient initiates guarded fiercely. They knew how to step across the ages, how to shape their own destinies, how to wield the patterns of time itself. And now, standing at the threshold, you must ask, will you remain bound by the illusion? Or will you step into the spiral and claim the future that has always been waiting for you? The greatest deception of all is not simply what you see, it is what you fear. If time itself does not truly bind you, then neither does death. If consciousness moves freely beyond the confines of time, what happens when the body ceases to function? You have been conditioned since birth to see death as the end, an abyss from which none return, a void that extinguishes all. But Thoth's teachings unveil a truth so profound, so deeply transformative, that once grasped, fear itself begins to unravel. The idea of an ending is the grand illusion, because death is not finality, it is transition. You have been taught that when the body fails, your existence vanishes like smoke in the wind, never to return. Yet this fear, carefully cultivated, has shaped your entire existence, dictating the risks you refuse to take, the dreams you leave unlived, the silent chains you accept without question. But this fear was always built on a lie. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth reveal an ancient truth that those who understood it no longer bowed before death, because they recognized it for what it truly is, not an end, but a doorway. The awareness that listens to these words, The true self that feels these truths rising within you does not cease to exist when the body falls away. It shifts, it transforms, it continues. Thoth described death as a simple change in frequency, not a disappearance. He spoke of the flame of life, an eternal force that cannot be extinguished, only reshaped. The body, he taught, is but a temporary vessel, a container loaned to consciousness for a time, discarded when no longer needed. But the essence that is you moves beyond it, stepping into another realm, just as naturally as stepping from one room into another. This understanding was at the heart of ancient civilizations. The Egyptians, who revered Thoth as a god of wisdom, believed that the soul traveled through the halls of Amenti, where one's essence was purified, weighed, and reborn into new life. Even today, modern science tiptoes toward what the ancients knew without hesitation. Studies of near-death experiences across cultures and ages reveal strikingly consistent patterns. Awareness persists, boundaries dissolve, the soul witnesses realms beyond the physical. If death were truly the end, how could this continuity exist? And if consciousness were only a byproduct of brain chemistry, how could it transcend the collapse of the body? The truth is simple. You are not the body. You never were. The body is merely a biological interface, a vehicle for experiencing this dimension. But your true self, the flame, is infinite. Thoth said it plainly. Man is a flame bound to a mountain, yet the flame is not the mountain. Your physical form may be tethered to the earth for a time, but the fire within you belongs to the cosmos itself. And it is precisely this truth that has been buried, suppressed, rewritten. Because if humanity truly understood that death was merely a passageway, the entire machinery of control, fear, compliance, limitation would collapse overnight. Fear of death is the silent whip that keeps humanity bound, afraid to risk, afraid to question, afraid to live fully. This is why ancient wisdom was erased from public memory. Those who understand death understand that life itself is limitless. But Thoth went further still. He spoke of realms beyond human perception, energy fields, cycles of consciousness, vast transformational spaces where the soul journeys before returning to physical form. This knowledge was once the province of ancient initiates, hidden from the unprepared. It was never lost, only veiled. And now, for those who seek, it begins to reveal itself again. Because when you grasp that death is not destruction but transformation, fear evaporates, and with it, the invisible chains that have bound you all your life. As you begin to comprehend that death is not an ending but a transition, another deeper truth starts to crystallize. Life itself is not what it seems. What you experience as reality, the colors, the textures, the sounds, is nothing more than a projection of vibration that you, yourself, are tuning into. Just as your body is not the core of who you are, the physical world is not the full story of existence. Beneath the dense material forms, beyond the reach of your physical senses, lies something deeper, something unseen, something that holds the true key to unlocking the immense power of your consciousness. And it is this, precisely this, that the Emerald Tablets reveal. Imagine for a moment that everything you perceive as solid, as fixed, is not solid at all. What if reality itself was an illusion, sculpted and maintained by energy and vibration? You have been conditioned to see the world around you as absolute, external, and unchanging, but Thoth taught a truth so profound that it forever alters the way you view existence. Reality is not made of matter, It is made of frequency. Everything you see, touch, think, and feel is energy vibrating at varying levels. The secret to reclaiming your true power lies in understanding this, in learning how to shift your own frequency. Thoth revealed that all things in existence, including your body, your thoughts, even your emotions, are woven from intricate patterns of vibration. The only difference between one form and another is the rate, the rhythm, the pulse of that vibration. This is why a single sound can shatter glass, why emotions can heal or harm your body, and why certain places and people feel either uplifting or draining, whether or not you are aware of it. You are constantly interacting with these invisible forces. Today, quantum physics is only beginning to affirm what Thoth laid down millennia ago. Scientists now understand that at the subatomic level, particles do not exist in fixed states. They flicker between possibilities, influenced by the mere act of observation. Awareness itself shapes the material world. Thoth's words ring through the ages. All things are formed from the Great One's breath. Vibration is the origin, the architect behind all things. You have already felt the fingerprints of this truth. Have you ever walked into a room and sensed tension without a single word being spoken? Or met someone whose very presence lifts your spirit without effort? This is not imagination. This is energy. Frequencies colliding, blending, affecting one another, unseen but undeniable. And the same force that vibrates in others flows through you. When you dwell in fear, anger, or worry, your frequency drops, and you magnetize experiences that reflect that discord. But when you cultivate clarity, confidence, and peace, you lift your vibration, and reality bends to meet it. This is why the ancient mystics and initiates practiced meditation, sound healing, chanting mantras not as empty rituals but as sacred technologies designed to attune their consciousness to higher frequencies. Thoth spoke of the power of sacred sound, how specific words and tones could unlock energy centers in the body, harmonizing mind and spirit with the cosmic order. This knowledge was never truly lost. It was simply hidden under layers of noise and distraction, concealed in plain sight. Here lies the deeper truth. You do not need permission to access this power. It has always been yours. The ability to raise your vibration, to shape your own reality, to command the energies of existence. This is not the privilege of mystics or elites. It is your birthright. And once you claim it, once you begin to consciously master your vibration, you realize something. Earth, shattering the universe itself, responds to you. This is why Thoth emphasized mastery, not worship, presence, not performance. Because when you tune your frequency with intention, existence listens. Thoth understood a truth that modern minds have almost entirely forgotten. By mastering the energy within you, you begin to command the forces beyond you. This is not superstition, not wishful thinking, but the fundamental architecture of reality itself, a principle that, once grasped, allows you to shape your existence in ways the ordinary world can scarcely comprehend. Yet vibration does not float freely in isolation. It operates within an intricate system of balance, an invisible yet unbreakable order that ensures everything, no matter how chaotic, inevitably returns to equilibrium. Those who live ignorant of this law are forever trapped in turmoil, tossed from reaction to reaction, lost in the storms of the external world. But those who awaken to it, those who align their inner field with the rhythm of the cosmos, step beyond reaction and into the seat of creation itself. They cease merely surviving and begin shaping reality at its roots. And it is here that Thoth unveiled one of the greatest secrets held within the Emerald Tablets, the principle of balance, the silent force that governs the entire universe. Look around you, the cycles of nature, the orbits of the planets, the rise and fall of empires. Nothing remains in imbalance forever. Everything bends, folds, crumbles, only to return once again to a center, to a sacred stillness that gives birth to all movement. Yet in your own life, how often have you felt caught in the throes of imbalance, pulled between extremes, chasing peace as if it were some distant prize always just out of reach? The truth is, balance is not a concept. It is not an ideal to be pursued someday. It is a law, as immutable as gravity, as constant as time, shaping not only the outer universe but the deepest recesses of your own being. Once you see this clearly, you stop warring against reality. You stop exhausting yourself trying to control what was never meant to be controlled. Instead, you begin to flow with it, to move like the river that bends around the stone rather than breaking against it. Thoth spoke of equilibrium as the hidden scaffolding beneath all existence, a force so absolute that every action, every thought, every emotional storm must ultimately collapse back into harmony. A mind burning with fear, with anger, with despair cannot sustain itself indefinitely. It will, by the very structure of reality, fall into stillness. A society corrupted by greed and deception will not rule forever. It will crumble and return to a simpler truth. But here lies the difference between the unaware and the awakened. Those who ignore this principle fight against the current until they drown. But those who master it move with the current, shaping the flow itself to their will. The ancients knew this well. The yin and yang of Eastern thought, the concept of ma'at in Egypt, the hermetic principle of polarity, they all spoke of the same eternal truth. Opposites are not enemies. Light and darkness, order and chaos, expansion and contraction, they are partners, each defining and necessitating the other. And yet modern society has trained you otherwise. It taught you to fear discomfort, to run from struggle, to believe that peace is some external commodity you must earn or capture. But Thoth revealed a deeper, quieter wisdom. True mastery is not found in avoiding imbalance, but in navigating it with grace, with awareness, with an unshakable inner axis. You've tasted this before, even if you did not recognize it. Think back times of overwhelming stress or sorrow, moments when, suddenly, everything broke open into a strange and unexpected peace. That was balance, restoring itself through you. Or those bursts of pure, effortless joy that rise after periods of hardship, as if from nowhere that too was the hand of equilibrium. Balance is not something you achieve once and possess forever. It is a dance, a rhythm, a living force that requires your conscious participation. And when you learn to move with it, you stop being a casualty of life's storms and become the one who rides the winds. The cycles that govern existence are not distant theories. They play out in every breath you take, every thought that crosses your mind, every sweeping current of history itself. And when you finally learn to recognize them, you stop being a prisoner of their momentum. You begin to dance with them, to shape them. The key is, and always has been, in your own energy, just as the universe, with all its vastness, seeks balance. So too does your consciousness. Thoth taught that mastery begins not in conquering the external, but in stabilizing the internal. Those who still the chaos within gain command over the world without. This is why the sages, the monks, the mystics all sought one thing above all: stillness, not stagnation, but a dynamic, living balance that no external force could disturb, because a mind that holds its center cannot be manipulated. When you stop reacting to every gust of emotion, every shifting circumstance, when you anchor yourself in unwavering presence, you become untouchable. But Thoth's vision of balance did not end with the internal. It extends into every word you speak, every action you take, every ripple you send into the tapestry of existence. If you move from desperation, from grasping and forcing, you will find yourself trapped in resistance. Success will elude you. Peace will be fleeting. Life will become a constant struggle against invisible currents. But if you move from alignment, from trust in the deeper rhythms of life, you will find that things begin to unfold with effortless precision. You have tasted this before, haven't you? Those rare moments when everything seemed to flow, when the right opportunities arrived unforced, when reality itself seemed to breathe with you. That wasn't luck. That was balance, alive and moving through you. Those who understand universal law do not chase, they attract. They do not force, they align. They ride the current, shaping it from within, knowing that true power comes not from domination, but from coherence with the very forces that shape the stars. Balance is not passive. It is a skill, a cultivated mastery, and those who achieve it walk a different path between worlds, unchained by emotional extremes, moving through existence with a grace and certainty that others can only watch and wonder at. But Thoth did not reveal balance as the ultimate goal. No, balance is but the foundation, the sacred ground upon which greater mysteries are built. For once you have stabilized your own being, once you have harmonized with the cosmic rhythms, you are ready to glimpse what lies beyond the forces that do not merely move within reality, but govern it. Forces older than time, older than the stars, watching, guiding, shaping. They are known as the Lords of Nine, beyond the illusion of linear time, beyond the thresholds of life and death, beyond the narrow limits of human perception. These ancient architects reside. You have been taught that existence is random, that the universe is chaotic, that life is an accident without meaning. But Thoth revealed a different story, a deeper story. Reality is not chaos. It is governed, maintained, nurtured by intelligences so vast, so ancient that they defy the mind's attempt to comprehend them. The Lords of Nine are not gods in the childish sense. They are not myths. They are cosmic overseers, guardians of the grand design, each holding dominion over a force fundamental to existence itself. They do not interfere in human affairs directly. They do not dictate choices, but their presence is woven into every moment, ensuring that balance returns, that cycles unfold, that the eternal order is maintained. Throughout history, echoes of the Nine have survived, hidden within myths, religions, sacred tales. The Nine Muses of Greece, the Nine Ennead of Egypt, fragments of a deeper truth that few dared to preserve openly. But the essence of their existence, the reality of their guardianship, was never lost, only obscured, waiting for those with the eyes to see beyond the veil. Throughout history, echoes of the Nine have surfaced, whispered in Egyptian cosmology, murmured in the legends of the Nine Unknown Men of India. These are not mere myths. They are fragmented recollections of a deeper, far more ancient truth. Even in modern times, secret societies and esoteric circles have guarded remnants of this knowledge. Understanding that those who align with the Lords of Nine gain access to forces that defy human comprehension. But if these beings exist and if they truly oversee the flow of existence, the real question is not whether they influence reality, but how you can align yourself with the wisdom they hold. Thoth spoke of the Nine not as distant deities to be worshipped, but as gatekeepers to higher realms of consciousness. He revealed that those who seek to awaken must prove themselves not in ritual, not in dogma, but in mastery of the self. This is why initiates in the ancient mystery schools underwent rigorous trials. It was never about exclusion, it was about readiness. Knowledge this potent cannot be given carelessly, it must be earned, because only a mind tempered in discipline can wield such power without destroying itself. This is the hidden reason why modern society has stripped away every trace of true spiritual power. You have been conditioned to see yourself as small, accidental, insignificant, a fleeting arrangement of flesh in a meaningless universe. You have been taught that consciousness is a trick of biology, that existence has no order beyond what can be measured and controlled. Because if you knew the truth, if you understood that reality is not a prison but a canvas that you could shape, influence, and interact with the forces beyond, then you would no longer be controllable. You would no longer be a pawn, you would be a participant. Those who truly understand the Nine do not live by the same rules as others. They do not see obstacles as limitations. They move through life in silent partnership with the unseen forces that guide the evolution of all things. They are not separate from the universe. They are expressions of it, conscious, awake, and aligned. And Thoth wrote that the Lords of Nine can be contacted not through superstition, but through vibration, through the elevation of consciousness. He described methods ancient and powerful for aligning oneself to frequencies that open the way to their wisdom. This is why sacred symbols, resonant sounds, and precise geometric patterns have survived for millennia. They are not decorations. They are keys. They are ancient tools designed to shift awareness beyond the physical realm, the flower of life. Etched into temple walls, the harmonic frequencies woven into forgotten chants, these are not relics of superstition. They are reminders, clues left behind for those willing to look deeper. But understand this, the path is not for the idle. It is not for those who wait for permission. It is for the ones who break free, who move beyond fear, who understand that power is not given, it is claimed. And when you align with the cosmic law, when you step out of the illusion and into the flow of truth, a greater revelation emerges. Reality itself is not solid. It is fluid. It is shaped by sound, by frequency, by the creative force of the word. This is the next secret revealed by the Emerald Tablets. That sound is not merely a vibration, it is the architect of existence. Ancient civilizations knew this, which is why words, chants, and sacred tones were never treated casually. They were understood as forces, potent tools that shaped the invisible into the visible. Thoth understood it. The initiates knew it. When Thoth commanded, "Sing thou the song of freedom," he was not offering poetry. He was giving instruction, a formula for liberation. For the universe itself is nothing but an intricate symphony of energies moving in resonance. And once you remember this, you no longer speak lightly, no longer think aimlessly, no longer exist unconsciously. You begin to create consciously. powerfully, in harmony with the cosmos itself, at the most fundamental level of existence. What appears solid, immovable, undeniably real, is nothing but an endless dance of vibrating fields, energies shifting and folding upon themselves, invisible to the eye yet shaping everything you perceive. And among the forces that weave this unseen tapestry, none is more immediate, more potent than sound. This is why certain frequencies reach beyond your conscious mind and stir something ancient within you. Why a simple melody can lift your spirit or shatter your composure. Why ancient chants, mantras, and sacred tones were revered across civilizations. Not because of superstition, but because they are tuning forks for the soul, aligning body, mind, and spirit with higher vibrational realities. The Emerald Tablets do not merely hint at this, they proclaim it with a clarity the modern world has forgotten. Sound, wielded with conscious intent, is the key to liberation. It is the forgotten bridge between form and formlessness, between limitation and boundless potential. Modern science, inching forward where the ancients already soared, is only now beginning to grasp what Thoth revealed long ago: the field of sematics. The study of how sound shapes matter has shown with irrefutable evidence that frequency molds the physical world. Sound waves passing through water, through sand, do not create random chaos. They form sacred geometric patterns, mirroring the intricate designs carved into ancient temples, encoded in holy scriptures, etched into the very bones of history. This is not coincidence, it is revelation. Sound is the architect of reality. Vibration gives structure to the formless, and if sound can shape water, shape matter, what does that say about the words you speak each day? About the unspoken mantras running through your mind? Every utterance, every whispered thought is not mere noise, it is a command, a vibrational blueprint rippling outward into the field of creation. It is why ancient traditions warned against the careless use of words. It is why affirmations were not cute slogans, but acts of manifestation. Why silence itself was revered as sacred ground, for in the stillness, the purest frequencies are born. Yet look at the world today. The knowledge of sound's power has been diluted into superstition, buried under the rubble of distraction and noise. Humanity has been trained to forget. You are bombarded daily with meaningless words, empty slogans, hollow rhetoric, all designed not to uplift, but to drown the power of conscious speech. Because if you truly understood that your voice shapes the field around you, that your thoughts spoken aloud mold reality itself, you would never again allow fear, doubt, or limitation to dominate your inner dialogue. You would speak as a creator, not a victim. You would align your vibration not with despair, but with the living frequencies of truth and creation. Thoth taught that mastery over sound is mastery over life itself. Manifestation, healing, the alteration of consciousness, these are not miracles but mechanics, waiting to be remembered. That is why the most sacred knowledge was always spoken, not merely written. The names of gods, the ancient incantations, the vibrational keys embedded within lost languages, all of it was crafted to move energy, to shift reality, to open hidden gates within and without. And that is why today, language has been stripped of its sacred force. Your attention is fractured, your words drained of their true potency, your reality shaped by noise instead of intention. Because when language loses its meaning, humanity loses its power to create. But you are here now, remembering what was almost lost, And once you reclaim your voice, once you align it with the resonance of creation itself, the reality you knew will begin to dissolve, and the one you were meant to build will rise. Reality, for those who remember, is not a prison but a canvas. Those who understand that sound is not mere communication but the language of creation itself can reclaim a power long buried beneath the noise of modern life. Yet sound, potent as it is only a single thread in a far greater tapestry. It is but one aspect of a deeper system, a system meticulously mapped within the Emerald Tablets, waiting for those who have the courage to move beyond the surface and reach into the hidden architecture of existence. If you have come this far, if these words stir something deep and ancient within you, then you are ready to take the next step, ready to understand that unlocking this knowledge is not a gift. It is a process, a path that must be walked with unwavering intention. The greatest secret is this: the ancient knowledge was never truly lost. It has always been here, quietly humming beneath the static of daily life, waiting for those willing to listen beyond the noise. Most people will never find it, not because it has been erased, but because they have been trained not to seek it. The world you live in is meticulously engineered to distract, to fill your mind with trivialities, to drown out the soft whispers of ancient truth that have never stopped calling. But the Emerald Tablets do not simply offer secrets, they issue a challenge. Knowledge is not something you stumble upon, it is something you claim. It demands transformation, not curiosity. It calls you to move beyond the illusions that bind the senses, to pierce the veil and step into sovereignty. Thoth did not carve these teachings in stone for the masses. He encoded them for the few, the seekers, those who could feel that something was missing from the ordinary world, who could sense the invisible architecture beneath the visible stay. He understood that knowledge without wisdom leads only to destruction, that power without understanding collapses into ruin. That is why the tablets are layered in symbols, hidden in parables, disguised as myth, so that only those who are ready to bear the weight of truth will find their way. Because mastery is not accumulation, it is transmutation. The first step on this path is not external. It is the radical understanding that the world you seek, the answers you crave, are not out there. They are within you, etched into the very fibers of your being, waiting to be unlocked. The great initiates of the ancient world did not possess anything that you do not. They simply remembered how to access what was already there, the latent power slumbering inside every human being. The question has never been whether you have this power. It is whether you are willing to awaken it. The Emerald Tablets speak of the halls of Amenti, a realm where the soul undergoes transformation before its return to the material world. But what if Amenti is not merely a place beyond death? What if it is a state of consciousness accessible here, now, to those brave enough to enter it? The ancient initiates knew the truth. The greatest journeys are not of distance, but of depth. They walked the inner path, using the principles of vibration, balance, and sacred sound to open doors within their own minds. But understand this: the path is not for everyone. Most will scoff. Most will retreat back into the comfort of familiar illusions. Because to truly walk this path is to dismantle the lies you have lived by. It is to realize that your thoughts are not idle, they create worlds. That your emotions are not harmless, they shape your frequency. That your words are not echoes, they are blueprints cast into the field of creation. And it is to take radical responsibility for that power. That is why modern civilization has done everything in its power to suppress these truths. Because the moment you realize you are not a victim of reality but its creator, you become impossible to control. Life is not something happening to you. It is moving through you. And once you truly grasp this, you step beyond the artificial limits the world has wrapped around your existence. This knowledge, carefully preserved through secret schools and hidden lineages, has always belonged to those who dared to remember. It's the same wisdom that inspired Da Vinci, Pythagoras, Tesla, those rare few who understood that reality is not a rigid, immovable stage, but a malleable, living field shaped by consciousness itself. And now, unbelievably, it is in your hands. You stand at the threshold of something greater than anything ordinary understanding can grasp. But thresholds are not crossings until you decide to move. The question before you is simple. Now that you know, what will you do? Most will hear these words, feel a flicker of something ancient stir inside them, and yet turn away, seduced once again by the hypnotic pull of the familiar. The world has been designed precisely for that, to keep you numb, distracted, domesticated. But a few, precious few, will feel the call deepen, will recognize that they have been led here by something greater than chance. For those ready to awaken, the next step is unavoidable. True transformation demands action. It demands embodiment. The final and greatest secret of the Emerald Tablets is not about collecting knowledge like trophies. It is about applying that knowledge until it reshapes your reality itself. The journey you are on is not coming to an end. It is only just beginning. Most will not reach this point. They will hear these truths, feel the pull of something larger, and then retreat into the comforting prisons of their conditioning. The systems of the world are strong enough to keep entire civilizations asleep, strong enough to make even the brightest minds doubt themselves, convincing them they are powerless, trapped within invisible walls. But if you are still here, still listening, still feeling the undeniable hum of recognition, then understand. You are not like most. A part of you already knows the truth. A part of you has always known. The Emerald Tablets are not dusty relics of a forgotten time. They are living blueprints for those who are ready to awaken. They are maps of hidden laws that govern reality, of forces that shape existence from behind the curtain, of methods by which consciousness can transcend every boundary it has been taught to accept. The question is no longer whether this knowledge is real. The only question now is whether you will live it. Those who dismiss these teachings will return to lives of repetition, caught in endless loops of reaction, fear, and false purpose, chasing dreams they never chose, trapped in systems they never questioned, fearful of stepping beyond the known. But for those who say yes, for those who accept the truth, a new path opens, a path of mastery, a path where life no longer happens to you but flows through you with intention. A path where the hidden forces that have steered your life from the shadows become visible, where fear dissolves into clarity, where limitation gives way to possibility. The great initiates of history did not simply accumulate knowledge. They lived it. They tuned their frequency, mastered their energy, dissolved the illusion of time, and spoke the language of creation itself. They understood that the external world is nothing but a projection, a reflection of the frequencies they had learned to hold. And they knew that real transformation would never come from outside. It must rise from within. This power has never left you. It has only been buried beneath layers of distraction, fear, and deliberate forgetfulness. It is waiting. The Emerald Tablets were never meant to be passive scriptures. They are living instruments, meant to be activated, embodied, and lived by those willing to break the cycle of sleep. This knowledge is only the beginning. There is far more than could ever be revealed in a single encounter. Some truths are too potent, too catalytic to be shared openly. That is why Insights Academy exists, to reveal what cannot be spoken here. If you are ready to take the next step, to move beyond merely knowing into living, the door is open. You can sign up now through the link in the description. As your gateway, you will receive a free digital copy of TheKybalion, one of the most powerful keys for unlocking the deeper laws of the universe. But understand this: hesitation is the oldest trick of the system. Those who wait are left behind. You were led here for a reason. You stand now where few dare to stand. At the edge of forgetting and remembering. Whether you continue forward or turn back is your choice alone. The Emerald Tablets have waited across eons for moments like this, for souls like yours. If this message has stirred something within you, do not let it pass. Leave a comment. I understood it. Because acknowledgement is the first step. And once you see through the illusion, once you truly remember, there is no turning back.